The following commentary is for entertainment purposes only. The opinions shared aren't personal, often said in jest, and have no merit in the real lives of the cast members. With that being said, let's binge, let's banter, and most importantly, let's move on. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me, and Love is Blind is back. I mean, not that it was so long since the last season, but we are back for season 10. This is episode 1 and only episode 1. I don't know how many times I have to explain this. We do not allow spoilers in the chat. Please, if you don't remember what happened in the episode, then just don't comment, or comment after you watch the video so you know what happened. I just want to make sure that you're not spoiling the season for myself or for other people in the comment section, please. And thank you. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. Please, please, please subscribe, guys. I'm trying to hit 100K this year. I feel like it's possible. We can do it. Thank you very much. So, off the bat, I'm realizing the editing this season, don't get me wrong, it's not the first season where the editing has been trashed, but it's real bad this year because we're jumping from this date, that date. You can barely get to know a couple as they're talking because they say, oh, where are you from? What do you do? Next couple. Hold on. And it's not like the quick little jumps that they do when they're not trying to focus on somebody. They'll have a whole intro of the person and then only 1 minute of their date. It was weird. Maybe I'm alone in this, but it was weird. Anyways, the first actual date that we get to marinate on is between Jessica and Chris.
What do you do for work?
I am an infectious diseases doctor in the ICU, like watching people dying all day.
Oh my God, it must have been tough.
It was really, really hard. I actually am divorced.
Okay.
My ex-husband is a really good person. I would just watch people die and come home and like crash. Our ideas of what a marriage was were so different.
Although it's not required, you don't have to be very flattery when it comes to your exes. I did appreciate the way that Jessica referred to her ex-husband because it wasn't a matter of finger pointing. It was more so acknowledging that there was misalignment in their relationship, and she took away so much. She learned about herself. There was some introspection on her part too, and it has helped her moving forward in the dating scene. I loved that. I thought that was a good, way to present your previous relationship. Then we have Chris, who commends her for her resilience, working in healthcare while COVID was happening. And they also talk about how fun-loving she is and how she has this new zest for life and she wants to share this with somebody. I'll be so honest, their date felt a little bit heavy, so it was hard to see that fun side of her, especially because Chris then had a date with Bri. And this seemed a lot more fun, a lot more lighthearted. They spoke about different activities that they get into, the sports that they used to play and they currently play. And so although Jessica was saying, oh yeah, I have this fun, exciting life that I want to share with somebody, Bri was better at exhibiting that on the date. It felt more flirty and fun and exciting. If Chris and Jessica are going to continue, I would like to see that playful side. They're able to have heavy conversations, but I want to see this fun side that she claims to have. And with Bri, I want to see the more serious side because we've already seen the fun side. Bri also has a similar conversation with Connor, and Connor gives agreeable.
I like to go on ski trips.
I love skiing.
I lived in Minneapolis.
I just put 2 more stars.
I played in a broomball league.
No way. You have like the most stars so far.
Oh.
Connor was just like, yeah, what? You like this? I love that too. You're from here. I'm from here. You like this? I like this. You like this? I love this. Where's your personality, Connor? Where's the depth? I was missing it. And I'm not surprised that his next date said something about his lack of vulnerability, because anytime that I see him, it looks like he's just trying to mirror back what's being given to him, and we're not really seeing much of Connor. We then meet Emma. She loves the concept of Love is Blind because she had a skin condition that could have, hold on, let me try to remember the story. Turned into melanoma. So she had a lot of surgeries, and because of those surgeries, she now has scars, and that has caused some issues when it comes to dating.
I used to be self-conscious of my scars. People stared a lot. It just was like an elephant in the room. I've been single for about a year now. Do want to get married. I think there is something to commitment. Want to find the right partner, but kids change the whole dynamic.
It doesn't necessarily mean that I need to
to have them right away?
I do not know my birth family. That scares me about having a child. I've been raised by a white family. Right now, I am not ready to disclose that.
So she is adopted, right? And she has this condition. So because of all of that, she is weary about bringing kids into the world. When she was talking to Mike, her date, he's all about having kids down the line. Like that's something that he wants for himself. She's hesitant, and she doesn't actually explain to him exactly why she's hesitant, but the reason is because she's scared of the ailments she could potentially pass down to her kids because she doesn't know about her family's health history. I don't know a lot about this. I'm not well educated on healthcare and all the things, okay? But isn't there a way to do some genetic testing to see what kind of recessive traits you have? Like, isn't there a way to do that even though you don't have your family's history? I don't know. Let me know, because I don't know, okay? But I love the fact that she's thinking critically about this, because I will be so honest, if there's one thing that peeves me, it's how people don't think critically enough about having kids and the consequences of having children, okay? It's not just, oh, we're gonna have this little bundle of joy in my little child purse, and you could just carry it around like an accessory. No, having a child is a big responsibility, whether you have ailments or the child potentially has ailments that you didn't plan for. These are the things you need to think about. Everybody thinks when they have a child, it's just gonna be honky-dory. The kid's gonna be, the kid's gonna have no issues whatsoever and everything's gonna be great. It's already hard to raise a child who doesn't have any complications, let alone a child who has complications that you prepped or didn't prep for. So I'm glad that she's thinking long and hard about this decision, because it's not just something you go into willy-nilly. The more she's talking to Mike, she's realizing he is very attentive. Unfortunately for her, he is kind of stuck on this kids thing. He is trying to reassure her that it isn't something that he wants right away. He doesn't want to take his time when he's married to someone, have some time to learn each other, to travel, to, just build a stronger foundation. But ultimately, he doesn't want them kids. I think that so far they do have the strongest connection, especially compared to her other connections. But I kind of don't like that he feels like she can be nudged in his direction. He's saying he's not trying to convince her, but he is trying to convince her. And I also wish that she would explain in detail why she is so hesitant to have kids, because maybe if he knew that, he would stop pressing the matter and either accept where she's at or find somebody who's on his page. Emma is also connecting with Connor. And like I said earlier, Connor just gives agreeable to me. She says she's worried about the connection with Connor because he reminds her of her ex. Unfortunately for Connor, he's not showing a lot of depth. He's not showing a lot of vulnerability. So she's scared to commit to him. She also has abandonment issues, and she fears that if she were to give herself to somebody like Connor, in the long run, he might just say, you know what, this is not for me, and just leave her high and dry. He tries to reassure her that he would never do that. I would never abandon you. I would never whatever. I think it's hard to tell that to somebody who is adopted. This seems to be a hang up that a lot of adopted kids have, that, abandonment issue. But also, you haven't proven yourself to be a rock. Like, you haven't gotten deep, you haven't really been vulnerable. So why would she have faith that you would stick around and your relationship would stand the test of time? I don't know. So she also has a connection with a man named Steven.
Are you comfortable telling me about how you lost your virginity?
I didn't date in high school. I wasn't a huge.
God, you're beating me.
I don't like this. I don't like the.
Mine's beautiful. It's sort of Notebook-esque. I
Yeah.
feel like every girlfriend I ever had watched The Notebook with me, just to be like, this is what I demand.
If you did not know, Steven, there's a lot going on with Steven. He has a lot of allegations. I mentioned them in my first impressions video, but it's been talked about by all the Love is Blind commentators, especially Storytime with Ricky, Reality Ashley, Autumn people. They've spoken about Steven, right? So Emma's having the same issue with Steven. Steven is not really being vulnerable. Steven is not opening up enough, so she feels weary of the connection, right? Steven tries to prove that he has depth by saying he has a music playlist of sensitive songs. Okay. He also likes to press Emma on topics that she has expressed make her feel uncomfortable, which kind of falls in line with the allegations that are out there about him. And also, she's talking about her skin and the surgeries that she went through and all that as a sign of, trying to open up. This is me being vulnerable with you. And in turn, he wants to talk about his first kiss. His first kiss. Then he's so intrigued to know the ins and outs of how and when she lost her virginity. Like, he got giddy when that topic came up. And she was like, I don't understand why all of this is important. And then he's trying to say, oh, you're a slow burner too. And she doesn't like that phrase. I don't quite remember why she doesn't like it. I think she said, oh, everybody's on their own journey, so you shouldn't be made to feel bad because you took time to engage sexually with people. But he just keeps pushing, pressing. And I know that a lot of people were wondering if Love is Blind was going to take him out of the series. Personally, I'm glad they kept him in. I'm glad they kept him in because this exposes that what the ladies were saying about him online are absolutely true. At the very least, this man is condescending, he is inconsiderate, and he is controlling. At the very least, he is those things. Now, as for whether or not he really did sexually assault those women, that is up to, that's their story, that's their truth. I cannot confirm or deny, but we can confirm this man is condescending, he's inconsiderate, and he is controlling. Thank God. Emma was picking up on this and she said, you know what? Not for me. You are too forceful. You are not being respectful in this conversation. I also just have better connections with other people. We're done. This man is going to go back to the men's quarters being like, yeah, not for me. Oh, not for you? You think the decision to end things was on you and you made the best decision for you? I'm so glad they showed Steven. I hate that the women who have experienced him in a negative way have to now see him being platformed like this. But I love the fact that the show exposed that what they're saying about him is more than likely true. We then meet Kia. Kia is just a ball of sunshine. I love her so much. She goes on a date with Kevin. We still don't know how to say his name. And his favorite movie is Love and Basketball. Red flag.
I'm here to find my light, my love, my man.
What's your favorite movie?
Love and Basketball. It's a great one.
The whole play for your heart and then he dunks on her. It's ridiculous. It is nostalgic and actors were great.
Yeah.
No shade, but it's the worst movie ever.
One thing I will give Kevin was that he was able to be introspective regarding his last relationship. He said that it gave him insight on himself and how he wants to approach dating moving forward. I always love when people can talk about the things that they learned instead of always slander. I don't know. To me, it says a lot about you if you're not able to look within after a relationship dissolves. This is barring abuse and all those things. You guys know whenever I say these things, we are barring abuse. Okay. He says that she is really down to earth and he loves her personality. However, he could see them being the best of friends. Oof. The person who he likes more is Tyler. Tyler gives him that excitement that he's looking for. In the date with Tyler, they talk about their expectations in marriage. They both feel like your partner should be your best friend, but on top of that, they should be your confidant. They should be your sounding board, just that person who you can always depend on, right? Then Tyler says, Kevin says, would you be down to relocate? And she says, I'm all for that. The only thing that concerns me a little bit is she talks about how hard it is to get to the position that she's at work. And she's really proud of the accomplishments that she's had, regarding her career. And I'm thinking, okay, I hope that you're with somebody who's able to make compromises where if their job, hold on, let me catch myself here. Hold on. Because I was going to say, if they don't contribute to the household as much as she does, then it would be beneficial for him to go where she is instead of the opposite, right? But then that also just depends on what your values are. Some people believe no matter what, no matter how much the man makes, it's got to be the man who's the provider. And maybe that's her mentality. Maybe it doesn't matter how far she's gone in her career. If he's supposed to be the breadwinner, then she's going to go where he's at. I don't like that for her. I don't. So I wish it was more so of like, I would do what's best for our family. If that means that we got to stay where I'm at, then we'd have to talk about that. If that means I got to leave where I'm at, then we got to talk about that. But it sounded like she would just drop everything for her husband, and that hurts me. Alex and Ashley are next in the pods, and they both admit that they in the past have been hung up on physical characteristics. So Ashley in the pods is trying her best not to give any hints regarding her physical appearance.
I won't really approach women unless I have that, physical there to start with. I think there's probably women that I've missed out on that I didn't give a chance to.
I'm like thinking about what you look like and like trying to place a face.
I'm thinking about you the same way. The voice is catching me for sure.
No hints on the looks.
Sorry, I didn't think about that.
I cannot put my finger on it, but something about Alex feels untrustworthy to me. I don't have any evidence. It's just a feeling. Something in my spirit is not settled when I watch this man on my screen. I don't know. Is it just me? Maybe I'm tripping. But then again, Ashley's the same one who said her dad said she chooses wrong all the time. So I don't know. Something about Alex, I just feel like there's a shoe that's going to drop. And also in their conversation, at least the one that we got to see, their conversation was mainly about intimacy and sexual stuff, but we didn't really see them get deep. And I'm thinking, is that it? With Alex, like he gets stuck on the physical, and now in the pods, he's just only talking about intimacy and stuff. I don't know. I don't really trust Alex as of yet. Lastly, we have Victor and Christine. So Love is Blind does not respect this couple. I'm sorry. They don't respect Victor and Christine, because the first date we saw of them was all of 1 minute long. Their second date at least was a little bit longer. It was a dinner date, and I thought this was kind of cute.
I got a misdemeanor when I was 18.
I also had a misdemeanor.
Look at that.
So today I was reflecting. She's God-fearing, she's nurturing, she's intelligent, she's resilient, kind, loyal. She's a big softie. She's warm. She's Christine. That's what I think about you.
Just two little criminals. I'm joking. These two both had rough upbringings. Christine talks about how hard it is watching her mom be debilitated by trauma. Part of that trauma probably has to do with her dad, not her mom's dad, but her own dad, Christine's dad, because it sounds like he was abusing substances. So that's not good. I'm not quite sure what the mom's trauma was, but she refuses to go to therapy and stuff. And this is something that Christine really wants to see. But she does admit that her childhood did affect her. Victor opens up about the same thing. They obviously both were in trouble with the law, just a little bit. And he says that up until he was about 18 years old, he was living very recklessly, but he just decided that he needed to change his life. I'm not quite sure what the catalyst was regarding that, but I'm glad that he did change his life, because honestly, it looks like he did a complete turnaround. Like, he's a professor now, and I think he said he gives back to his community. I don't remember in which way, but he just seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders now. They both were adamant not to follow in the footsteps of their parents or to continue this destructive path that they were on, so I love that for them. I also love that Victor read out the things that he likes about Christine, and none of them had to do with how she made him feel. It had everything to do with how she was as a person and him just liking her for her. I said, yup, that's it. That's the one. Yes, I like this. We then cut to a montage of all their dates, and I'm thinking, you see, Love is Blind doesn't respect you. Love is Blind does not respect this couple. The way they breeze through their dates. I hate this flashback editing thing they've been doing lately. Can we just see the dates? You have maybe it's 5. I don't know. You have 5 to maybe 6 episodes of pods. Why are we getting montages? I don't understand. But anyways, when you see the montage, you do know that a proposal is on the horizon.
May we open our hearts throughout this unique journey towards a marriage.
Amen and amen and amen. That was beautiful.
I literally wrote amen and amen.
I want you in my life forever. Well, I can't see you, but I see you. Christine Louise Hamilton. Will you marry me?
Of course I will.
And as much as I do like this couple, the edit has me concerned, because sometimes when they breeze through a couple, it's because they're likely going to implode. So they're trying to sell us the dream that, their connection was instant and they knew right away that they were for each other. But then the shoe drops once they move in. And it's like, there were a lot of red flags that they glossed over. And ultimately, they just don't end up getting married. So I did like them, the parts that we did get to see, but the edit makes me think that something is going to go left. So yeah. Speaking of going left, one of the girls comes back to the women's quarters and she opens a bottle and it seems like she had an accident opening the bottle. She's frantic. The producers are trying to calm her down and then they flash to the ambulance. The sirens are going off. We don't know what's going on. We'll have to see in the next episode. So, as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.